What time is it?
It's time for art!
Hello, second and third grade. Welcome back. We spent 2 weeks working on our Navajo-inspired rug. We didn't weave our Navajo blanket or rug or carpet with yarn. We just kind of decorated it with construction paper. The whole point of that was to show me that you understand symmetry. We worked on that for 2 weeks, and now we are going to do 2 weeks of Pueblo Indians. If you're in second or third grade, and I was your art teacher in kindergarten and first grade, then I've already kind of read you 2 stories by Gerald McDermott. One was called Coyote. It was a trickster tale from the American Southwest. And I read you Arrow to the Sun, a Pueblo Indian tale. In Coyote by Gerald McDermott, he used a lot of designs or patterns or motifs that you might find in a Navajo blanket or a Navajo rug. He integrated that into the artwork. So on the title page of Coyote, you'll see a lot of these kind of like 90-degree steps. The kids refer to them as steps. These kind of zigzag lines that are almost like are perfect 90-degree angles. You'll see that a lot in Navajo carpets or Navajo rugs. In fact, on the opening page, when Blue Coyote is sniffing around the desert for trouble, even if you look at the nice details of the desert, you'll notice like the desert floor has kind of a step look to it. Well, the other story I read you was Arrow to the Sun. It's a Pueblo Indian tale. And on the first page, the Sun Lord that lives in the sun, he fires the spark of life down to earth with an arrow, and it travels down the rays of the sun to the Pueblo. A Pueblo is like a flat roofed village made out of clay or adobe and wood and stones. And we're going to work on this for 2 weeks. Pueblo comes from the Spanish word for village or town. In the American Southwest, a pueblo is like a village or a settlement, and it has flat roof buildings. They could be 1 to 3 stories high. Ours will be 3 stories high. Pueblo people have lived in this style of building for over 1,000 years. The Pueblo people originate from the Mesa Verde region, located in the Four Corner area of the American Southwest: Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. In fact, a mesa is like a giant flat-top mountain that usually towers over the landscape. When we draw these pueblos, we're going to be drawing a bunch of ladders. And kids ask, why don't they have stairs or steps? But these multi-story buildings have rooms that are accessible only through ladders that are either raised or lowered to the inhabitants, and it protects them from break-ins and unwanted guests, especially a healthy fear of mountain lions that could break into your house. Okay, so here's how I want you to make this. First, what I'm going to do on a tan piece of paper is I'm going to draw, I guess it kind of looks like a sideways capital letter E. It is lower than half of the paper. I'm going to draw some windows, I'm going to draw a door, I'm going to decorate the bottom of this with cactus and other things that you would find on the ground level of a Pueblo city. People walking, merchants, maybe livestock, a chicken, a burro, a donkey, maybe decorate it with a rug like the kind that we made last week. I'm going to color in the windows and the doors black. I'm going to color everything else that I drew in very carefully with colored pencils. Now here's where it gets tricky. Do not throw away the top half of your paper. Nope, that's a big no-no. I want you to completely rotate this piece of paper 180 degrees so that what you just drew is now upside down on the top of the paper. With the rest of the paper, I'm going to draw some windows and color them in. You guys don't know it yet, but this is going to be a three-dimensional Pueblo. We're going to divide the picture plane into a background, middle ground, and foreground. The foreground are the objects closest to the audience, the viewer, and that's going to be the low part that we just drew. The background's going to be higher, and that's why we're doing this right now. I'm going to draw about 5 windows, maybe 6. I'm going to color them in, and then with my brown colored pencil, I am going to draw some ladders that go up to the windows, because that is how they would get into these upper dwellings. And if you've done that, you're done with part 1 for this week. Stay tuned for part 2. Bye. Pro tips. People have asked me before, Mr. Penn, why are you painting barefoot with no shoes on? And one reason I like to paint barefoot is because when you're painting a mural especially, or painting inside a house, you could drip paint. And stepping on paint and not realizing it is very bad. Because next thing you know, you have made painted footprints all over the floor. That could be someone's carpet. That would be terrible. So the reason I like to paint barefoot is so that if I step in paint, I've got a better chance of feeling it on my foot. And if I feel paint on my foot, I can just, hop to where I need to get and clean it off. I don't want to name names or throw anyone under the bus or get anyone in trouble. But a few years ago, we had some painters come paint, and they did not paint barefoot. And you can see this red line. They left red footprints on the floor. So that is just a great reason why I like to paint barefoot. That's my pro tip this week. See you next time. Bonus points! Second and third graders, what is one way artists show depth in a picture? Because that's what we're going to do next week with our Pueblos. Okay, bye.